What would you do if your life depended on a 12-hour surgery performed by a dozen people, each one responsible for keeping you alive second by second? No guarantees, no backup plan. That's what Tammy faced. For most of us, surgery means healing. But for her, this was war. It was a battle against time, against odds, and against a body that had nearly given up. And it all started in a hospital hallway, surrounded by family, wrapped in prayer, and carried forward by something stronger than fear: hope. Tammy didn't grow up dreaming she'd become the focus of a major medical team. She didn't ask for attention or sympathy. She was a regular person with a regular life, until everything started falling apart. Years of pain, misdiagnoses, quiet suffering. Doctors couldn't quite explain why her condition worsened so quickly, but the signs were there: fatigue, swelling, difficulty breathing. At first, they tried treating symptoms, but eventually it became clear. Tammy was deteriorating, fast, and unless something drastic was done, she wouldn't survive the year. This wasn't a routine procedure. It was one of the most complex surgeries the hospital had attempted in years. 12 highly specialized medical professionals were needed: surgeons, anesthesiologists, nurses, and techs. Tammy would be unconscious for over 10 hours. The risks included brain damage, organ failure, or worse. But doing nothing wasn't an option either. Her body was shutting down. The procedure itself had to be choreographed to perfection. Each incision, each movement, each second could tip the scale toward life or death. Few people understand what goes into a surgery of this scale. Days of preparation, simulations, contingency planning. Every team member had a precise role. The room was filled with the hum of machines, cold lighting, and quiet determination. There was no space for ego, no time for mistakes. The lead surgeon had performed hundreds of operations, but even he admitted this one kept him up at night. Behind their calm faces, each member of the team carried the weight of responsibility. This wasn't just another patient. This was Tammy. As Tammy prepared to be wheeled into the operating room, her family surrounded her. They tried to smile, to stay strong, but their eyes said everything. Her brother stepped forward, voice trembling, and began to pray. "Lord, we thank you. Guide their hands. Protect her." His words cracked halfway through. Tammy, teary-eyed but smiling, reached out for a final hug. No one knew if it would be their last. Her sister whispered, "We've got you." And in that moment, faith became the only thing stronger than fear. There are some things families never say out loud, like the fear of losing someone before you've said everything you needed to say. As Tammy was taken away, her family stayed behind, clutching tissues, holding on to each other. No one mentioned the worst-case scenario, but everyone felt it. The hallway felt longer, the silence louder. They had done everything they could. Now it was in the hands of strangers wearing masks and scrubs, and in the hands of something even greater. Tammy was rolled through double doors into the sterile world of the operating room. This was it, the point of no return. As the anesthesia flowed, her heart rate displayed on the monitor, steady but fragile. Her eyes fluttered closed. The surgeons leaned in. Monitors beeped. The hum of machines kicked in. For Tammy, time would now disappear. But for the team inside that room, every second would matter more than the last. The operating room transformed into a battlefield. Gloves on, masks tightened, hands steady. The lead surgeon called out the first step. Nurses responded without hesitation. The anesthesiologist monitored every breath, every heartbeat. As hours passed, fatigue began to settle in, but the team pressed on. At one point, complications arose. Internal bleeding, blood pressure dropped. The room shifted from calm to crisis mode. But training kicked in. Within minutes, stability returned. They had her, for now. Meanwhile, in the waiting room, her family sat huddled together. Some paced, others prayed silently. Her brother stared at the ceiling, repeating the same words. "She's gonna make it. She has to." Faith is a strange strange thing. It asks you to believe in what you can't see. And in those long hours, faith was all they had. No updates, no certainty, just belief. And sometimes, that belief is the only thing that keeps people from falling apart. TV shows and documentaries often skip this part. The toll it takes on the surgeons, the pressure that builds behind their eyes. Some staff didn't sleep the night before. Others hadn't eaten all day. Every life and death call they made sat heavy on their shoulders. And when the surgery was finally over, several team members quietly stepped into the hallway and cried. Not because of failure, but because of the weight of carrying that deeply. For a moment, everything stopped. After nearly 12 hours, the team reached the final step. The bleeding had been controlled. The organs were responding, but there was one last hurdle. Tammy's heart rate dropped. Fast. The room erupted in motion. CPR was nearly called. And then, beep, beep. A steady rhythm returned. She was alive, but not just alive, stable. The entire room let out the breath they didn't know they were holding. Tammy had made it through. Waking up wasn't like flipping a switch. Tammy drifted in and out, confused and in pain. Tubes, wires, machines. But when she finally opened her eyes and saw her brother at her bedside, tears rolled down her face. "You stayed," she whispered. He smiled. "We never left." The days that followed were hard. Learning to move again, eat again, breathe without help. But Tammy didn't just recover. She fought. Every step forward was proof that she hadn't gone through all of this for nothing. The surgery may have ended, but the emotional aftermath lasted much longer. Tammy's family carried the trauma, the flashbacks, the fear of relapse, the constant "what if" hanging in their minds. Even celebrating her survival came with guilt. What about others who didn't make it? Her brother admitted later he'd cried in the hospital bathroom more than once, just to let it out. But those tears, they weren't just pain. They were relief, gratitude, and release. Today, Tammy walks without help. She laughs louder, loves harder, and lives like someone who knows what it's like to almost lose it all. She started speaking at hospitals, raising awareness about rare conditions. Her message is simple. Don't wait until you're dying to start living. She's a reminder that miracles aren't flashy. They're quiet, they're painful, and they're real. Tammy didn't just survive the surgery, she transformed because of it. Tammy's journey is more than a survival story. It's a blueprint for resilience, faith, and human connection. If this story moved you, don't let it stop here. Share it.